All right, welcome to the Great Rubino. I'm doing a new series. We're trying out a super fan series about different people who love and are deeply passionate about maybe somewhere in the Jewish realm or sports realm. And today we're going to talk about Team Israel. And I think I have two of the biggest super fans, maybe three if you include myself. Zack and Danielle are here to talk with us. How are you both doing?
Wonderful, thank you.
And I'm doing great too. Thanks.
All right, great. And they're in their Team Israel gear. I am not. I was telling Zack a little earlier. I got some rabbi things to do today, so I couldn't just be in baseball stuff. So let's just begin with how you both sort of got, what drew you to Team Israel and why you've become so involved. Danielle, you want to start?
Sure. So I got involved with Israel baseball. I would say about 7 years ago at this point. I became the regional director for Jerusalem for their Little League. I held that position for 3 years. And I was the director and I was coaching. And then when I was unfortunately had to stop being regional director, just work life didn't fit. I continued coaching, but during those 3 years it was the WBC in Brooklyn, and I went with the team to Brooklyn for a week. And that's how I first got involved with the WBC team, which then thankfully led to the Olympic team.
Awesome. Zack, what about you?
Yeah, I was living in Israel from 2010 to 2019, and baseball has always been number one passion, having been born in Florida and born and raised a Marlins fan. So I remember 2012 when Israel was trying to qualify for the World Baseball Classic. I was in Jupiter, Florida for all three of those games, and remember the heartbreak sitting in the stands when they lost that extra inning, third game versus Spain, 10th inning. It was a heartbreaker. Probably my least favorite baseball game I've ever watched in my life to that point, and also still to this point. And I was hooked. It was such a simple hook. It was Israel and baseball, and what could be better than that combination? That led to 2016, flying from Israel to Brooklyn to be at all three games at the qualifier around there where Israel did qualify. And then I did the craziest thing in my life to that point and booked a ticket to South Korea, which then turned into extending my trip to Japan, and was at all six of the World Baseball Classic games. When we know what happened with Israel baseball, they won the first three of those games in Korea and then won the first of three in Japan before eventually getting eliminated. But that was the journey of a lifetime. Since then, after that, I went back to Israel and got a bit more involved. Like Danielle, we assistant coached the same team, the same Jerusalem high school boys team, and it was awesome. Built some really great relationships down there and got a little bit more involved hands-on with the Israel Association of Baseball over there after, I guess, being inspired World Baseball Classic-wise and just learning more about the association, what they do. And that led just that fire inside of me for Israel baseball just kept getting bigger, I guess, and flew to Germany and Italy to watch the European Championships in September 2019, and then the Olympic qualifier in Italy shortly after that. Watched the team qualify for the Olympics, was at all of those games, and it's become a part of my life journey at this point, and that's the path that it's taken.
Wonderful. So Zack, now you're working for Team Israel a little bit. You want to talk about that a little?
Sure, yeah. Help them realize that there was a sizable gap merchandise-wise around Israel baseball. Made the connections late 2019, early 2020 to make an online shop a reality with tons of great merch. And a year later, helping them formally get any Israel baseball fan around the world, not just Israel, not just America, but around the world, decked out in as much Israel baseball swag, shirts, hoodies, hats, kippahs, shorts. I mean, a little bit of everything. I spent enough time over the past few years getting messages from fans around the world saying, where can we get Israel baseball merch? And it became a mission of mine to make sure these people never write those messages again and that people can get Israel baseball merch, myself included, and Danielle included, and everyone else. So it's been fun, and it's been nice to actually have a recognizable contribution to the team and to their now Olympic journey, and who knows beyond.
I don't know if it counts, but for my nephew's birthday, I ordered all of us matching t-shirts. So I'm really excited for that.
Good customer.
Danielle, so do you also have involvement with the team? I know that you've done some stuff, but besides the coaching, are involved other ways?
Currently, no, unfortunately. This year, unfortunately, with COVID, I'm not coaching. I'm really hoping next year that'll change, because it really was the highlight of my week, every week. But I hope to get back into it. I hope to be in Tokyo this summer. Mainly, I decided I wanted to go when the team made it, and I was like, "That's it. I'm going. There's no question." And so we'll see what happens with the Olympics. Still not sure yet, but if I'm there, I'll be doing everything I can for the team as much as they'll allow me to help out.
Yeah,
And I decided once I heard there were going to be no overseas spectators likely allowed at the Olympics, I decided to start looking into moving to Japan to allow me to be there. It's not a crazy idea.
No, it's not. Except the Olympics ends and then the team leaves, right? You know that.
Then I'll move back.
So what do you expect this summer? Realistically, you think that we can take home the gold? I mean, I think once before, I think, it felt like strong idea to medal would be great. But with the addition of Ian Kinsler, it feels like a gold is not out of the question. What are your sort of your expectations, both of you?
I definitely think we can medal. That's definitely a minimal expectation. I think America's or the North American team still haven't qualified yet. I think that spot is still open. So in terms of gold, maybe that affects how far we can go. But I definitely expect a medal without a doubt. It's a really, really great team.
I'll put it this way. I don't like predicting medal, not medal, this or that. I'll just say, I mean, everyone thought I was crazy when traveling to watch these teams, and all the places I've been to, they're like, Israel baseball is not going to win. Maybe they'll win one game, you get lucky. They're not going to sweep through an entire first round of the World Baseball Classic. And then I flew to Germany and Italy, and they're like, they're not, why are you going all the way to Europe for the first time in my life at that point to watch? They're not going to qualify for the Olympics. There's 12 teams, and then there's 5 teams, and there's no way. So, I mean, we got 6 teams in the Olympics, 4 of which are already qualified and set in stone, 3 medals, 50% chance. Just knowing the guys on the team and knowing what they've overcome and knowing how they've stuck together over the past year, especially throughout the delay, and just knowing Peter Kurtz, the crazy dreams that he has as the head of the Israel Association of Baseball, or now the WBC and Olympic, the national team committee. I don't put anything past him, the team, Israel baseball as a whole. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a medal. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a gold medal. Nothing at this point surprises me Israel baseball related.
So there's a lot of great personalities. I think that's part of the appeal to the team, and the camaraderie. In Hebrew, the chevra like that they've built. So which of these players stands out for you? And you can go back all the way to 2012 as like someone you may have latched onto, and for what reason? Is there a person? Is there personality? Is there a moment that was created? Was it a home run? Was it a pitcher? Where sort of like is that maybe that real tie that from an individual on the team?
Zach, you want to go first?
Sure. Can I say all of them? One perk of being at all of these games, and honestly being the only, if not one of the only, if not the only one there, is I've gotten to meet a lot of the players, the coaching staff, the scouts, and including the people behind the scenes that their names are not in publications. You don't see all the hard work that goes into scouting and finding these Jews across the country and figuring out which of the naturally Israeli-born players can be on the team and can play at that high level. Players that I've latched onto or connected with. I mean, the first one, when you ask that question, I could go a whole bunch of ways. You ask me the question an hour from now, I'll come up with a different name. The first one that came to mind is Blake Galen. Blake Galen, I identify with because he's small. I'm small. He's always been an underdog his whole career. I've always been an underdog my whole life. He's been on the ride since 2016-17, the qualifiers and the World Baseball Classic itself, and has been every step of the way. Was one of the first guys from the team to gain Israeli citizenship, make Aliyah, and he was in from the very beginning. And just talking to him a bunch of times off to the side and offline and at the field, he really embodies. I think he embodies just the grind that he's taken through minor leagues and independent baseball throughout America, and just being one of the first to put his hat in the ring and say, let's do this. I want to be an Israeli citizen. And he's really identified with his Judaism background more over the past few years. And I've appreciated his story and how much effort he puts in training wise also to be ready. And I like Blake Galen. I mean, but that's selling everyone else short, because I could tell a story about every single person on the team at this point.
Danielle?
So the first player that I met was Josh Zaid. He came and did a program in my community when they were in Brooklyn. And he was awesome. He spoke with all the kids who came. He was very patient and answered everyone's questions. And I think he really shows, he's been the leader of really the I want to say at the heart of the WBC team, and I think that's led up to the Olympic team as well. Also, when Zach was in, I want to say it was in South Korea. I don't remember honestly, but when Zach and I originally met through Israel Baseball, and my plan originally was to travel and go watch the games as well, but I ended up tearing my ACL when I was coaching, and so my doctor wouldn't let me fly. But we did have a viewing party, and so Zach was great and had some of the players send messages, and Josh was one of the players who sent a really wonderful, heartfelt message to everyone. We had like 200 people there who was watching, and thanked them for supporting the team and supporting him. And I think he's shown real leadership on the field, and so that for me has been a big deal.
Yeah, he's a huge man. And you know, the whole team, I agree with you. They're just, most of them that I've come across have just been just incredible people. And you know, Josh, in some ways, is also the Jewish spirit behind the team, because him and now Danny, I think, both grew up pretty attached to their Judaism. Like, it was an important element in their lives, and a lot of them, even if they're, let's say, halakhically Jewish or both parents Jewish or whatever their situation, the Team Israel may have brought that out of them, but it was always there for someone like Josh. And but I can tell you that for me, like when Ryan Lavarnway got called up last year, knowing his career and so well, I had chills. I really, and I texted him and I just said, I'm so happy for you. Like, I just know how much this means to you, and to see someone grind and work so hard. And for us, he's a star. Right? For the Jews, he's a star now, because he's the MVP, and without his bat, they're not where they are for sure. But to see that in a major league level, to accomplish your goals, was amazing. It was heartwarming.
The whole team really is unbelievable. Like Josh said, I've had a chance to meet a bunch of them, and you see them together, and it's I think it's an unusual bond that even united them before they even really played together, before they even spent time together. And it's a very unique bond, and I think that's part of their strength.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, I want to thank both of you. This is the beginning of what we're hoping is a super fan series, and I can't think of two bigger super fans. And also, I'm going to plug, because today is well, it's on the 24th, but I think it's because of the 25th, right? The Team Israel launched all sorts of stuff to become the 25th player on the team. You can listen to the podcast. You can buy merchandise, which maybe Zach will respond to your emails. And there's a video, and there's all sorts of ways to engage. So we hope people go out and support the team. I'm sure I'm speaking for all three of us, and give them a better chance of making all of our dream come true with a gold medal. Danielle and Zach, thank you both for your time
and
expertise and passion.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.